Look, I'm going to be really honest here. A lot of people are not going to be happy with this video because I'm going to show you how to use automation to help you build your network, build connections, build relationships, and grow your business using an automated LinkedIn tool. Let's get this video going. Hey guys, it's Richard Butler, and today I am reviewing Waalaxy, which I think is how you pronounce it. There's a link to the actual special offer that Waalxaly are doing, which is a lifetime offer for just $59, and you'll find that link just below this video in the description. I'm the type of person who likes to work smarter rather than harder. So I'm always looking for tools that can help me do that. And when I can get them at a bargain for a lifetime deal, then I am interested. So, I have been there, that I started to build out my LinkedIn network back in November. And I hadn't done much on LinkedIn since I don't know when. And slowly but surely, every day that I could do or that I could remember, I would start sending out invitations. I would have a copy and paste reply that I would send if people actually accepted the invitation, etc., etc. Now, there were two problems with that. A, it was incredibly boring. Actually, three problems. B, it was incredibly slow. And C, sometimes I would copy and paste an invitation because I was tired with another person's name. So it would be Dear Marcel, and underneath it would say Dear Francisco, and then I would go, shoot, and I'd have to go back and edit the message. Now, I would say that, searching for people, connecting with them, sending messages, probably took maybe 4 minutes per person, maybe 3 minutes per person when I was in the flow. So that meant that in an hour, I might get 20 or 30 people to connect. But I couldn't spend more than an hour doing that because it was so slow. So I started to look around for automation, and I started to investigate about automating these tasks. And I read, don't do it. And I read, LinkedIn will ban you. But back in January, end of January 2022, I started with a software called Closely, which you will see here. It worked fine, but there was one big issue that turned me off the software, and I'll tell you about that later on. So I moved to this other software called Waaxaly, and it actually did more than what Closely did, and it had a lovely interface. Now, one of the things I always do when I do one of these reviews is I test out the support. And I really tested out the support on both of them. Now, Waalxaly are based in France. Their support has been superb. They've answered all my questions, because with any software, there is a learning curve. Now, you're probably saying, okay, Richard, get to the point. What does this software do? Well, this software, at the very basic level, and that's what I'm using it at the moment, will do the following. It will allow me to automate profile view visits based on a list of search results that I give Waalxaly. It will also allow me then, and this is the process that I use, to send an invite and follow up with 2 messages or 3 messages once somebody has accepted. Now, I have noticed that 3 messages is really, really good because the way I've structured them, I get interaction. Now, what type of results have I got? 43% acceptance rate, which I think is pretty good. And then around 13% response rate to my actual conversations that I have with people. Now, why are automation tools dangerous? Why do people not like them? Because if you use them incorrectly and LinkedIn discovers that you're using automation, it can suspend your account, or for repeated offenses, it can ban your account. Now, in what instances will you get banned? I mean, if you send spam, you will get banned. If you buy this and you say, I'm going to spam 1,000 people a week, you're going to get banned. If you have a new account and suddenly you go from 0 prospecting to 100 people a day, LinkedIn is going to realize. Now, in LinkedIn's terms and conditions, they say that you cannot scrape the information from what is effectively a database. So you cannot copy the information out and save it. Now, I've worked with recruiters. I've worked with different recruiting firms, and all of them use some sort of system to help them with their prospecting. I mean, one person that I'm working with very high profile company, and they use a system to actually extract emails so that they can follow up with the people, and they can have their own what we call customer relationship management system, or CRM. So you may be thinking, or you may have heard, automation is bad, and I did a poll in a couple of groups, and a lot of people said automation was bad, but they hadn't used it. Now, again, what you're trying to do with this system is make it look natural. Make it look that you're prospecting, that you're sending messages. This is the heavy lifting, or the grunt work, to get people to connect, to send them a couple of messages, and then to build up the relationship. Now, I've done that, and I have got calls with clients, and I've booked in sessions with clients based on this software. Okay, so right up to this point, after 3 months of using automated software, 2 different ones, the software does work. Now, there's no reason why this should ever stop working, because the companies are always checking the algorithms to make sure that nothing changes. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, when I send out a connection message, I put in a variable that says, first name, I'd like to connect with you. Now, if that variable changes, then the system breaks, then LinkedIn may realize that you're using an automated system. Now, you might say, oh no, that sounds, I'll just get my VA to do it instead. Well, your VA is going to cost you a lot more than $59 for lifetime working hours. But the other thing is, if you're based in London and your VA is based in the Philippines, and you interact with somebody and then your VA posts something or sends an invite, that is an even worse signal for LinkedIn, because they say, hold on a second, Richard is in London and suddenly now he's in Manila. I mean, how did he travel so fast? So this is one of the things as well with Waalxaly that you have to be careful, is that you don't reply to messages while Waalxaly is running. So normally I might reply to messages in the evening or early morning when I know Waalxaly is not running, so that I can actually ensure that there's no problems, that LinkedIn will say, well, how can he be replying to a message and posting at the same time? So it's about trying to get a natural workflow here. Okay, so let's go over to Waalxaly and see what it actually does. Okay, here I am in my account. You will see 43.7% acceptance rate, 13.2% response rate. I have 5 active campaigns. In total, I have 2,440 connections. I've just under 2,000 pending connections. These are from all of the invites I've sent out. Now remember that sometimes connections will remain pending because people don't actually use LinkedIn that much, or they mightn't connect. I could go and clean that now and again, because I don't want LinkedIn to say, oh, well, he has so many pending connections. And I've had 745 profile views. Okay, so here's my strategy. I set up a campaign to go and view profiles of my target market, which are recruiters. Then what I do is I go and I send an invite campaign, which is I invite the person, and then I go and I send them 2 messages once they've accepted. Now, if you are enjoying this video so far, give it a like, leave a comment below, and do check the description because there will actually be a link to the actual AppSumo deal just below this video. Okay, so how does all of this work? Well, I have a list of prospects here. For example, 15th of April talent acquisition, and I then decide what action I want to do with these. Now, these have already been in a campaign. I've just blurred out their names here, but you can see the action, an invitation sent, and I also followed them. So this was one campaign that I did an invitation and a follow, and then the status is connected. So what I like about this tool is that it becomes a customer or client relationship management tool that I can go in and I can actually say, have they replied to my messages? And I click on that and it shows me all the people who have replied. And then what I can do is I can actually tag these people. So that means that I can see who has booked a call, who needs to book a call, if they're interested or not. So I never send somebody a wrong message when I start to actually communicate with them on LinkedIn. Now, don't you think that this could really help your business? Don't you think that this could really save you time and money? Well, you know there's a link in the description, so you can have a look at that. Now, how do I get these prospects? Well, I simply go into LinkedIn. I do a search like I have one prepared here, medicals. I say I want them just in Catalonia, Spain. I want them from a certain company. And then I go to this button here and I create a new list and I import these people. They will be imported into Waaxaly, into prospects. And then I go to campaigns and I can go into my campaign list and I see all of the campaigns that are running. So what's the next step then? So let me just go into my browse sequences here. And what I can do is go and look for the campaign under invite. So invitation and 3 messages, or invitation and 2 messages. This is what I like to do. So let me just preview this and I'll walk you through this. So what it does is, it starts off here with an invitation. If the person connects, it gives a delay. Then it sends a message. If it's not replied to in 5 days, it sends a message, another message. Then after 7 days, it just automatically fails. If they are pending for 15 days, it automatically fails. So that's if they're not connected. If they are connected, it won't send another message. Now, I found this campaign to be really, really successful. Okay, if I go in here, I use the template. It says name your campaign, add prospects. I would select a list here. So I normally say add all prospects. I usually like to add a note. Now I can set up templates here, okay, like this, or like an intro, which I use. Now this is one area that Waalxaly is checking to make sure that these variables will always work, because that's where you could find that LinkedIn would say, oh, this is automated because it comes up first name. Now you can also put in company here. So you could say, hey, I see we both worked at such and such a company, okay? There is a fallback. Now, fallback means is if it can't find your company, it will just say firm instead. Okay, so that's another useful thing. Now let me just undo that. Okay, I would go save and next. It says how many days do you want to wait after the invitation accepted? I say 1 day. What's the next message? Well, I put in message 1. Thank you so much for connecting and joining my network. Now the way the logic works here is, if somebody replies to you after you connect, it stops the sequence. It doesn't keep sending the messages. This is what happened with the other program, Closely, which I reviewed here, which actually did have this problem that it kept sending the messages even when somebody had replied, and it made you look a little bit daft and it pissed people off. Now, then I wait 5 days and I send the next message and I put in message number 2, which is like a conversation. Oh, here's the video I talked about why you don't need to learn English. Kind of weird thought, right? And I give them a link to something that I've actually created, a LinkedIn post. It just makes it very conversational, and this is the key, to make this very conversational so that people feel that it's a real person and not a bot. I would then go save and next, and I would launch that campaign. Now I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to exit that. I'm going to quit without saving. I'm going to quit that. And that is what Waaxaly does, basically. Now, there's a lot more complex things that you can do. One of the things that I found which was really useful is that you can message all of your prospects as well. So you could send an automated message out to all of your prospects once you have a list here. So if you've worked with certain people and you've tagged them, you could go into your prospect list, you know, everybody who has booked a call with you, send them a follow-up message. They are going to be introducing LinkedIn messaging where you can actually control all your messages from here, which is really useful. One of the challenges I found with Closely was that since it read your messages, you could easily miss messages, because when you went into LinkedIn, it would show all of the messages being read. Now, here is one of the key things to make sure that you use this very, very well. When you have Waalaxy running, make sure you're not interacting on LinkedIn as well, because then Waalaxy will say, like the VA, it'll say, how is Richard sending so many invites, plus he's posting content on LinkedIn? Okay, then they will wonder. So when I go to queue, it shows me what is going to be happening next. Okay, so there's a message coming out in 2 minutes for this particular campaign. PT recruiters follow, invite, and message. And then it tells me, you know, then I do recruiters invites. Then it says I'm going to do some testing. Profile invitations is going to message these people. Then it's going to visit Spanish recruiters. So it's trying to automate the process a lot. Activity. this is where I can select my working hours. So I would try to have it quite random. One day I start at 9, on a Wednesday I start at 10:30, on a Thursday I start at 8:39, on a Friday I finish at 5. I don't work Saturday or Sunday. That's the first thing I would do. So I would randomize our hours so it doesn't always start at 9 and finish at 7. That's the first thing I would do, and every week I'm starting to randomize my hours. And then down here I can edit my max daily quota. So what I'm doing is I'm randomizing this every week as well. So some days I send out 58 invites, some days I send a maximum of 150 messages, some days I just do 92 profiles. So every week it's a little bit different. And Waalxaly will also make sure that it doesn't always go to the maximum. Some days it'll do 80 profile views, some days it will do 60, some days it'll do that 92. Now, if I go to queue, you say quotas reached, okay? So some of my quotas have been reached, for example, profile views. So what happens is that it will then go and it will do another activity, and it won't reset those profile views until the 20th of April at 1300 hours. Now, why 1300 hours? Because that's when I set up my account, and it always resets my 24-hour views there. Now, I mean, this is a lifesaver. For $59, it has saved me so much time, because I was spending hours, like you probably are now, looking for people, sending out invites, then trying to copy messages in, trying to keep everything on track, and it was just a nightmare. If you use this tool carefully and don't spam people and make it sound like a natural conversation, I think it's going to work for you too. Now, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I will gladly answer them. As I say, I'm transparent. You've seen my results. You've seen what I've done, and I do believe it works. So any questions, let me know. There is a link to purchase this. It ends in 9 days. So that's on the 29th of April. This special offer will be gone, and then you'll have to pay their monthly price, which is a lot more than $59. All right, I'll talk to you very soon. Have a wonderful day.